this system has been in power and control for hundreds of years, ever since they convinced the rest of the world that they didn't know where they live, and created this fantastical scenario to make people feel insignificant and to follow those that appear to know better, that are just better liars, deceivers, that have no conscience, and will do everything and anything to everybody and anybody they can to keep that power. Because people are waking up. And no matter how much they try to suppress this flat earth movement, oh, it's gonna keep moving one way or another. You can see it. People are waking up. So now, louder than ever, I can hear that clock. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. It's a religion. It's all a religion. You know why? Because government is a religion. Government is the majority of the world's true God, because they believe that these people have some sort of power, and they've even convinced us that we've given it to them. They still have us convinced in 2015, the age of instant communication, that we for some reason need representatives in a city that's not even part of this country called Washington, D.C. to represent us. That in this age of instant communication, we can't represent ourselves for some reason. That's how deep the brainwashing and the indoctrination has gone. They still have you convinced that this government should be run on the same system it was run when people were back on horseback using telegraphs and Pony Express. That's why they had these representatives, had to go to Washington, so that they could go back home to this group of a few 100,000 people and say, well, what do you guys want? Okay, I'll go tell them. And they travel for a week to Washington, D.C. or however long it takes. That's why you needed representatives. Now I can push this button and talk to anybody in the world. What the fuck do I need a representative for? Because it's the power system, the control system. They have to keep indoctrinating you in schools, teaching you about everything and anything but where you live. Now they have to treat out all the money that was going into the educational system to control your mind isn't working anymore. People see how stupid everybody is. That is the failure of government. See, Flat Earth proves the failure of government, period. Because it's either deceived and lied and indoctrinated us all into a false system, or it's completely failed in making people realize if they really live on a globe, a lot of people don't see it. So your education system has failed now, hasn't it? In order to believe it, we've got to believe a bunch of math formulas that only a few people in the world can supposedly understand, and we've just got to take your word for it. Here in this age of all this technology where I can get on this phone, record this video, and send it out to the world, they can't seem to find a way to easily, simply prove to everybody on the planet where they live. It always depends on some formulas that the majority of the people don't understand. And again, the people that do understand it don't understand it. They either know it's bullshit or they believe it's bullshit because it's just religion and it's not proven. It's just tailored, twisted formulas to fit their agenda. It doesn't wash out in reality. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? Yeah, that's their favorite line. Got a lot of people, what difference does it make? You can't figure out what difference it makes? If you can't figure out what difference it makes that the people running your world have fucking lied to you over and over your whole life, if you can't figure out that someone lying to you is trying to control you, suppressing of information, of knowledge, is control. Deception of information and knowledge is a form of control. So what difference does it make? It makes a big difference, because once they start omitting information or lying about information about where you live, they're doing it to control you, period. Why am I having to explain this to critical thinkers in the truth movement? Where you live, it's been a lie the whole time, and if everybody would just come together and demand answers, they would be in checkmate. They would not know what the fuck to do. They cannot prove it. They can't prove the globe because it doesn't exist. So once you call on them, they're done. You then remove them from power and go from there. That rips down all the other conspiracies. You then have access to all these top secret government files, that national security that they hide all the evidence under. The way you control billions of people is to keep them divided and fighting each other. So they focus on anything and everything but you and how you're controlling.
The shape of the earth even matter? What difference does it make to my life? Firstly, the thing of crucial importance is not the shape, it's the lie. The lie of heliocentrism is one of the most insidious lies imaginable that replaces our common sense and lived experience with unproven theories and explanations from supposed experts. When children are indoctrinated to abandon the evidence of their senses in favor of this nonsensical globe model, a schism occurs in their psyche where they are no longer able to trust their own senses and experience, and instead must trust information completely contrary to it, presented by perceived authority figures. To teach such a false cosmology is incredibly deceitful and disempowering to the individual, and the result is that humanity has become just like the slaves in Plato's allegory of the cave. A child who learns not to trust the evidence of their senses becomes forever imprisoned within Plato's cave. A world of distorted shadows cast by Plato's puppet masters that blinds them to the reality beyond. So, why does the shape of the earth matter? Again, it's not about the shape. It's about the lie. To fool nearly the entirety of humanity for multiple generations, stripping people of their common sense and replacing it with carefully crafted lies, is obviously a matter of serious importance. It is one of the most psychologically devastating things that could be perpetrated upon an individual, and seeing through it should be one of the most revealing revelations of a lifetime. So, when someone asks the foolish question of what difference does it make, that is already evidence of extreme psychological distortion. If knowing the truth doesn't matter to your life, what does that say about your life? The Level Earth is an epic epiphany that changes many people to their core, affirming their common sense, developing their critical thinking skills, and reigniting a spirit of discovery and adventure. In this way, the Level Earth revelation is holistically helpful and truly transformational for many on an individual level. Even more importantly, however, is if humanity succeeds in fully exposing this egregious lie and finally rooting out the liars, the beneficial ripple effect it will have throughout society is massive. Once these foundational facts are realized, these governments, universities, media outlets, and other entangled organizations suddenly and completely lose all credibility. The resulting mass mental exodus away from the control system is exactly what is needed. Essentially, once the Level Earth conspiracy is exposed, so is every other important conspiracy by proxy, because this so-called mother of all conspiracies holds under its umbrella so many fundamental and foundational facts, and fully reveals them.